And we are live. Welcome to the Living World of Darkness. This is the scene for the Changeling and Mage venue, where we find Nosehorn underneath this giant tree. All around the dreaming, it's having a fit. Maybe a nightmare realm is moving in, or maybe some she is fighting with his girlfriend, or whatever those hoity-toity lords are up to. But whatever, the dreaming is freaking out there. Could just be a little kid is having a temper tantrum and he's a strong dreamer. But Nosehorn is sitting underneath the tree, and she appears to be lost in thought. She's arranging some bloody bones into a pile, and around which she has written the name Timmy. And she's also eating some of the bones because some of them have meat on there and you don't want it to go to waste. Up above the tree, there's a bunch of pterodactyls that seem immune to any of the noise or thunder or even rain that is starting up in this area. They're just asleep as Nosehorn is doing this strange little thing of making a bunch of bones. And we will begin this scene here.
Yes. Well, figuring that there was a conversation that was going to be had and then was so rudely interrupted by a menagerie of other fair folk that turned up and started bringing their issues to a wonderful, quiet, quaint cafe that somebody was enjoying a peaceful respite from all the craziness that's happening. Turned into a central point for, how can we say, having to be diplomatic with people that you don't really want to be with. However, there was a question, there was an answer, there was a request for aid, and reading between the lines, this grey wanderer has come back into the dreaming realms to go and find Nosehorn and have a genuine conversation, something that's not interrupted by other people. Since he's given her a lift in his mind at some point, it's relatively straightforward to track to a very large tree incorporated by the bat-like pterodactyls sitting around enjoying the storm and the rain for what it is. He hunkers up and he walks towards her.
What are you doing here? I'm sorry. Sorry. And you see the fangs retract, the eyes get smaller. She become all the more humanoid-esque looking, albeit with a fair amount of jewelry on her.
What am I doing here? He turned up in my fantastic cafe, knocked on my doors of my mind and asked me for help.
With my homework!
And all your friends turned up and started to have a discussion, and then there seemed to be something about charges levied against one of your brethren who don't seem to like you.
He is no friend of mine, nor is he any brethren.
Okay, well, these are different.
She motions to a bunch of bones that she has in a little pile.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be him soon enough.
What's the deal?
Oh, he is an idiot.
Okay.
Don't actually know how he is still alive. The original plan was that me and my compatriots should just stand back and let him kill himself. But some do-gooders have repeatedly tried to save his life, and they're at least good at their job. But he is not going to be associated with me. There is no way that he's going to join me in my human endeavors.
You shut him down pretty hard, which was amusing to watch.
Oh, he talks to me like he was an equal. He ran away in the middle of battle. Did you know that?
No, I don't know anything about him. It's the first time I saw him.
like a little child. Except for any child of mine that tried to do that, I would eat.
Well, it seems to be that there's a lot of grandiose talking themselves up in the realms of the fair folk. People say, well, people think they are more powerful and more capable and more liked than they are.
Everybody hates me. I know what I am.
I felt that when I saw you speaking to Trebenton, I think his name was.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm in a bit of trouble right now. It seems to be just a slap on the wrist at the moment, but who knows? They might change their mind later.
I see. Well, I hope that goes well for you.
I don't know. They think differently than I do. You think differently than I do, but it seems that I can say whatever I want in front of you and you're fine with it.
You can say whatever you want. I have my own agenda and I have my own opinions.
What is your agenda? Does it have to do with that dragon we saw?
No.
Oh, good.
No, that dragon has its place and its duty. A reminder. But what I like to do is keep the peace.
I wish there was a way. There's an art where I could kill him and make it look like natural causes, but I don't know. It seems rather risky. I always thought that I would use it for a big bad. He just seems annoying, to be frank.
I think that's why he's still alive, because people realize that expending energy on him to kill him off is more than their time.
Oh. I hate having a brain.
Well, just make sure you don't plunge the entirety of the Changeling dreaming realm into war, because you have an issue with that fool that can't tolerate.
Oh, that's something separate. I was there during the Second Crusade. Not on the winning side, obviously. But no, I've already fought that fight.
Well, I think there's going to be a little fight coming. I just imagine that's going to be happening.
Why they talk? But no, have you actually heard something? You have a very strange relationship with this place.
Thank you. I keep my distance and be objective as I possibly can. And
Bullshit! You come and go as you please.
I haven't heard anything, but I feel that there's storm clouds on the horizon, and they'll break. Just as there's historical evidence to suggest that the situation where you are is usually going to end up with more bloodshed.
My kind are dying. It's not an opinion, not up for argument. They all agree. But, I won't do anything to stop it. Their own base desires must stop them. And these changelings that are supposed to have such such well-developed brains. I think they're too well-developed. I think it holds them back.
They probably have existed or walked their paths and their routes for too long that they can't adapt very quickly.
It just seems like there is no avenue for me to plead for peace. If I were to do such a thing amongst my own kind, I wouldn't be so foolish, they would just kill me. And rightly so, you don't show that you're a coward. But if I were to go and explain my case to these changelings, I don't even have an avenue to do it. I can't even go to Taranara without a guard. There's nothing I can do, and nobody that will listen to my desire for peace. I went to the war chieftain, saying that perhaps we should think more about turning adhene that have displaced us into slaves instead of killing them. And he said if I was so worried about the future of our race, then I should probably just lay some eggs and get on with it.
You've got an interesting path or an interesting journey ahead of you, I think, and it just doesn't seem to be something that is going to be amicable for a very long time.
On top of all that, it's such a strain for me to exist with the humans. It doesn't feel real. You're the most real out of all the humans I've been around. You feel like the stories of what a human should be.
Maybe a more open and awakened human being, but I think we touched upon this before.
It's more than that. You're more... She leans into you, and if you allow her, she grabs your chin. You're more tangible.
What are you doing? He says.
I don't know. But those humans out there are a puzzle.
Those humans out there are boring.
Boring?
Yes.
As far as I can tell, they power the ground I'm walking on. My own world.
But then again, from what I hear, this world existed before humanity ever came about and dreamed.
I don't even know. I've heard 3 stories now about how this world came to be. And it's so hard for me to... It's like when I hear the story, it fucks with my memory. I get less and less sure of what I remembered the more I hear these other stories. I know that certain things happened. I know that I was there for certain fights. But I don't know when the humans showed up. I don't even remember what they look like all that way back then. I just remember what it felt like to me when I would creep into their minds. It felt like you.
I think humans used to be apes before they became obsessed with building great big skyscrapers and science and banality and all that stuff.
don't know enough yet to really explain what I'm talking about. It drives me nuts because, like the rest of them, I need words for everything. But the feel stays the same, but I think the looks changed. Then these humans, though, I have trouble getting to their brains. The doors are small and tiny. It's hard for me to fit through. I feel like a fat, clumsy blob squeezing into them. And then it's not so much that there are things fighting me to get out. It's just that there's so much clutter and shit in there.
Maybe you should hang around with some monks then. Too many boring people. There's too many boring things.
Christianity? No, thank you.
No. There are monks or a specific faith or philosophical orders of human beings that clear their minds of crap, release their desires to have material possessions, and they're very, very uncluttered, peaceful people. Perhaps having a conversation with them or poking around their heads would be something that you might actually learn to understand. But let's just say that perhaps they're more than human.
Interesting. Well, I would be grateful if you could give me some recommendations as to where I'd start. I would prefer to stay away from actual monasteries, though.
Oh, sure.
Any ground that belongs to somebody else.
Then perhaps, well, there's a Buddhist center in New York City, I guess. So you're pretty close to that. You can see what the dreaming realms are like around it. I'm sure you'll see a huge change.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't suppose you could do me a favor.
I don't know anything about medical science.
No, but I have a feeling if you're like what I think you're like, you could know a whole lot very soon.
He cocks his head. I'm not sure what you mean.
I think it's a damn shame that you are not a professor at NYU.
Well, I do need a job, but I'm only really good at languages since most my study was occult-based homeschooling.
Should study languages, though.
No, that's something I plan to do. It's apparently you have to write these things called CVs and then or resumes and get people's opinion of you professionally and be teaching before and have this catch-22 thing going on where you have to have had experience being a teacher before you can be a teacher. I mean, what shit is that? But
You're telling me that somebody that holds the dawn of creation in their mind can't make a resume?
well, it's outside of my expertise, but yeah, I suppose I could. I get
You
help.
can't make it your expertise?
I suppose so.
That would be good.
Okay.
That would really help me.
Me being a professor of languages. I thought you were studying medicine.
Maybe I'll get a minor in that. But I think you being there in the university would definitely help me. This is hard on me, living in this body.
Uh-huh.
What?
Okay. I'll try my best.
Okay. Now, what do you say that we go to the real world and I show you my dorm? It's not a dorm per se, it's a sorority house, but it's a dorm.
Isn't there special rules against people going into sorority houses that aren't members of a sorority?
No, you're not a professor yet.
Okay. Well, as long as do you have good tea?
I've got something a little bit better. Come with me.
Okay.
All right, and with that, I think we'll end the scene here.
All right.
Okay, cool. Anybody that watched, thanks for sticking with us. Good night.